But there was so many little individual performances that I thought were really impressive. I mean, there's one I have to start with. I know Mickey van der Ven got man of the match, and he was brilliant, and we're going to talk about him. But Pape Matar Sarr, I mean, again, watching on a tiny screen, I really do appreciate how much more you see when you're at a stadium. When you have to watch it on a little screen or even on a telly, you just see so much else going on when you're actually at the match. Tell me what it was like to witness Pape Matar Sarr play like that at Selhurst Park.
Fantastic. I mean, he's produced a number of really good performances so far this season. I think the one that for me sticks out in my mind was the Manchester United game where he scored the goal.
Yeah.
But I thought his showing at Crystal Palace was certainly up there as one of his best this season. He was just a mobile presence in the midfield for Spurs, constantly looking to get on the ball, go forward with it. And he was pivotal in both of the goals on the night. First one, as I was saying, made a really good run down the right flank. That was after playing a couple of passes with Pedro Porro, and then he put it across. But the second goal, I know Brendan Johnson and James Maddison are going to get a lot of credit for their role in that. But that ball from Pape Sarr across to Brendan Johnson was absolutely fantastic. And that all came from Spurs playing out from the back, just keeping possession of it. And yeah, I just thought it was just one of those performances where he was absolutely superb, just bundles of energy, really, really good showing from him. And I think it was probably a timely performance as well, because Rodrigo Bentancur made his long-awaited return. And I think a lot of people were probably expecting, well, as soon as Bentancur comes back, Sarr's the one who drops out. But I think he showed on Friday night that that's not a straightforward decision at all for Ange Postecoglou to make. I think, obviously, over the coming weeks, Bentancur needs to work his way back to full fitness, and it'll just be a case of giving him minutes here and there. But Sarr more than made his case to be part of the midfield three. Over the coming weeks and months, he was sensational.
He's just 21. That's just what I find so ridiculous about him as well. And I do wonder, I mean, I'll ask you this. If he was playing for, I don't know, a City, Arsenal, even maybe Man U, just one of these clubs that maybe are slightly more heralded than Spurs are right now, or even, let's say, a Brighton because of the talent they produce, do you think everyone would be raving about him? I kind of feel like they would. He's almost gone under the radar at Spurs.
Yeah, I think with Spurs this season, it's, James Maddison, Son, Mickey van der Ven, Christian Romero, Guillermo Vicario. They're like the players with the naming lights this season because they've been sensational. But it's not just them. There's a number of players at Tottenham who've been, performing on a consistent basis, week in, week out, producing really, really good displays. And yeah, I think if Sarr was at Man City or Liverpool, you'd be hearing a lot about him. But I think if he was at Brighton, if he was producing the performances he's for Tottenham at the moment, then come next summer, there'd be talk of him moving to a City or a Liverpool for, 70 million plus or whatever. How much was Caicedo in the end? Was he over 100 million?
Yeah, it was 100, wasn't it, in the end?
Yeah, so, if Sarr was at Brighton, then I think there'd be talk about a substantial transfer fee. But I think it's a good thing for Spurs, if he's going under the radar.
Yeah. No, you're right. You're absolutely right. It's it just struck me that I just don't think people outside Spurs realise how good he is. I think he's well respected on the continent. I think, that was it was seen as a real coup that Spurs managed to get him in the first place from Nets. But it's almost like now everyone, like you say, I think that's what it is. They're drawn to the names and they're ignoring the fact this 21-year-old is running games at times from the midfield. I mean, he had more touches than any other midfielder on the pitch on Friday. 92 touches, 75 passes, with an 89.3 pass success rate, which for me, especially with Sarr, he's quite progressive in his play. Whereas someone like Basuma, who he does try to be progressive as well, but what I would say is a lot of his passes are probably in the earlier stages of building an attack, just the quick, short, sharp passes around between the defence and him and everything. Whereas with Sarr, I do feel that he really tries to drive on, and as we saw with both goals, both his involvements in those were trying to progressively play the ball through to almost to have 90% pass success rate is very impressive. And he also had 1 dribble, 2 interceptions, 2 clearances, and 1 block. I just think he's such a good player. And I mean, I heard, didn't he say after the Fulham game that he was ill? He was playing in that game. He'd asked to still play, even though he was ill. Hopefully, he hasn't spread whatever it was to the rest of the squad. But yeah, he's just such a good player. And your point about Bentancur coming back is absolutely spot on. I think all of them, myself included, everyone just kind of assumed it was going to be a Bentancur, Basuma, Maddison trio. But Sarr's made that really a tough choice. And I think in a way it helps Bentancur. We talk about kind of Sarr going under the radar because of the lack of glare on him right now in publicity. I think for Bentancur, there's no need to rush him back. There's no need to throw him in that team because it's a midfield that's playing very well and Sarr's playing very well. So there's no reason right now to try and push him before he's ready.